Good evening. Welcome back. Before we move forward, let's take a moment to ground ourselves in what we've already established. In Module 1, we introduced a simple but necessary shift. Artificial intelligence is not a tool for answers. It is a mirror for thinking. We focused on clarity. We broke down how your assumptions, your logic, and your biases shape every decision you make. And more importantly, we established responsibility. If your thinking is flawed, the outcome will reflect it. So now, we move to the next layer, decision. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge the space again. This session continues inside the Goods virtual world, in collaboration with Colors Studios, a platform built on discipline, on focus, on removing everything unnecessary, so that what remains can be understood clearly. That same principle applies here. Because once you can see clearly, the next question becomes unavoidable. How do you choose correctly? Write that down. Clarity without decision has no value. So today, we're going to introduce a different way of thinking. Probabilistic thinking. Not guessing, not reacting, evaluating. Because every decision you make is not a single outcome. It is a range of possible outcomes. And most people never take the time to map them. They choose based on instinct, emotion, or incomplete information, and then they live with the result as if it was inevitable. It wasn't. It was unexamined. So we changed that. First principle, the variable matrix. Every decision has variables: time, money, risk, growth, energy. Most people consider these loosely. We are going to define them precisely. Write this down. If you do not define your variables, you cannot control your outcomes. Now here's where it becomes powerful. You assign weight to each variable, not based on what sounds good, but based on what actually matters to you. For example, time may carry more weight than money. Growth may outweigh comfort. Risk may be acceptable or unacceptable. This becomes your decision structure. And once that structure is clear, you can begin to evaluate options properly. Second principle, scenario modeling. Every decision has multiple paths: best case, worst case, most likely case. Most people only think about one, the one they want. We don't do that here. We run the scenario. Write this down. If you do not simulate the outcome, you are choosing blindly. Using AI, you can now model decisions before you live them. You can ask, what happens if this works? What happens if it fails? What happens if it partially succeeds? And more importantly, what patterns exist across all outcomes? That's where the truth is, not in one result, but in the range. Third principle, game theory awareness. You are not making decisions in isolation. Other people are involved. Their incentives, their actions, their reactions, all influence your outcome. Write this down. If you ignore other players, you miscalculate the game. AI allows you to model this. You can ask, what are the incentives of each party? What are the most likely moves? Where are the points of conflict? Now your decision is no longer reactive, it is strategic. Fourth principle, the pre-mortem. This is where discipline takes over. Before you commit to a decision, you assume it failed, completely. And then you ask, why? What went wrong? What did I miss? What assumption broke? Write this down. Failure reveals what success hides. This is where most risks are discovered, not after the fact, but before the decision is made. Final principle, expected value. Once your variables are defined, your scenarios are mapped, and your risks are exposed, you calculate, not perfectly, but intentionally. You evaluate which path produces the highest probability of alignment with what you value most. Write this down. The best decision is not the safest, it is the most aligned. Now let's bring this together. In Module 1, you learned how to see clearly. In Module 2, you learned how to choose intelligently. Before this, decisions were reactions. After this, they become calculations. Not rigid, but informed. Because life is not predictable, but it is measurable. And when you begin to measure it, you begin to navigate it differently. So as you move forward, don't ask, what feels right? Ask, what is most likely to work, given what I now understand? And if you don't take the time to run that process, then whatever happens next is not chance. It's a decision you didn't fully think through. You just got the goods from the goods. Welcome to Module 2,